What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood podcast or webcast because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host, as always. My name is Jimmy. And as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to everyone who supports everything we do, anyone who's bought our merch, taking any of our courses, watch our content. We appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who got the new merch, right? So we got the By the Hood Stackers merch, for the coins and crypto, and a couple other new pieces out there. And I want to say thank you to all of the new students that are a member of By the Hood University that came aboard because of our newest Intro to Precious Metals course, which recently dropped. And, a lot of students came along because of that. Just want to say thank you to you guys, and it's genuinely appreciated. And we're going to continue to build with you and build wealth together. I got my partner, as always, partner Crown Corey. Corey, what's up, good brother?
You know how I do, man. I'm living, and as long as I'm breathing, I'm good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, 2020, man, that means something, right? It always means something, but 2020 kind of put things in perspective. And for those that may be watching for the first time, please do me a favor. Make sure you share this content. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching the video. If you're listening to the audio podcast, make sure you subscribe there as well. I'm going to tell your family and friends about us. That way, you can help us as well, because everything that we do, we put right back into the community, whether that's other Black-owned businesses, whether that's actually doing things to help others in the community in terms of our Camp for Kids or the work that we do behind the wall. Everything is made possible by you guys. So I just want to say thank you again. But our platform is designed to highlight brothers and sisters who are doing amazing things. And as always, we have a very, very special guest. And listen, man, we have Dr. Kelli DuCloux. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She's has a PhD in education. She'll tell you a little bit about that, right? But what's impressive to me right now, and I don't want to take up too much of her time, because she told us before she came on, right before COVID, she went and moved to Puerto Rico and is living on a beach right now. So I just want to say thank you for your time, because living on the beach, man, I feel like I'm violating right now.
Hey, thank you. Good to be here. Good to be here. I'm excited.
Exactly. Okay, cool. So listen, before we get into what you got going on, tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you originally from, and tell us about your education.
Sure. So I'm from Southern California. So I'm born and raised in Southern California. So out of my family, I'm the only one born there. Everybody else is from down south. So I'm a California girl by way of roots from down south, right? And I share that because sometimes a lot of folks in California are a little bit different. Okay. So I still have those old down home values of how to treat people, how to be right, how to come correct without being superficial and shallow and all that kind of stuff, which sometimes you find in LA areas. So born and raised there, went to UCLA and started, after I left UCLA, I started teaching in South Central, and I was supposed to be a medical doctor. My goal was to be a brain surgeon. That was my goal. And I started teaching in South Central just as an interim while I was studying for the MCAT. And I loved teaching so much that I was like, man, I would do this for free. I really loved it. And so, I had to call the parents and be like, hey, I'm not going to be a medical doctor. Is that going to be a problem? Or are we good? And so they were like, nope, go do what makes you happy. And I started teaching and just loved it and enjoyed it. So I then went back to school, got 2 master's degrees in education, got a PhD from University of Southern California, USC. So I went to UCLA and USC.
Okay.
People ask me all the time, who do you root for? I'm like, I can root for either.
Whoever wins. Whoever wins.
Exactly. So finished there with a doctorate in educational psychology. So that's my background, and I've been teaching ever since. And I taught in not only South Central, then I started teaching in the juvenile halls, and then I started teaching kids who were locked up because I wanted to find a way to help us, because they lock us up disproportionately. And I thought to myself, if I can teach them before they get to the adult level of lockup, maybe I can make a difference, right? And so I actually created a college program inside the lockup facility for kids, for boys. I created a college program, and it was really cool because I remember I had one kid that said, I've been called a lot of things in my life, but I never thought I'd be called a college student. And I remember they're very poignant. So I've always tried to do things that are always going to affect people that look like me, right? And put the hugest dent in making our lives collectively better. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I have a question that I have to ask this question.
Sure, sure.
Does it in fact ever rain in Southern California? I had to ask.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And no, it don't. No, it don't.
No. I had to, my bad, y'all. I had to ask.
He wasn't
But,
lying. He wasn't lying. We just had to find out what the man lying.
listen, man, I love Tony. I love Tony. Like, you know,
That's
anybody that
funny,
follows
right?
our IG page, you know, I'm an R&B guy, so
I know that.
I had to ask though.
Let's throw that on there. Right.
Yeah, so that's amazing. That's amazing that. So let me ask you this though, because Corey's a teacher too, and he always talks about
Okay.
the joy of teaching to the point where like Corey has retired from teaching maybe like 10 times in the last like 3 years, but he always goes back because of the joy of teaching. What is it about teaching? What is it about teaching that that you love that much that made you actually just change your course of life? What is it about it? If you could speak to that.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. It's the fact that you can really impact. Excuse me. You can really impact the lives of a particular person, child, and then the impact does not just land with that child. I learned. I don't know if it was a book I read or a quote that somebody told me years ago, and it landed on me and it never left. And it said, "What you do today affects 7 generations into your future."
Mm, that's
And
good or
that was
good or
right,
bad, right?
right. And I was like, ooh, and, you know, and that I took that 120% seriously. And I was like, okay, so what I do is going to affect my seventh generation. But if I can impact some children who, again, I started teaching in South Central. So if I can impact them, then I know I can reach through them and make sure that I can hopefully impact their great grandkids, you know? And
Yeah.
that's the huge thing. Now, and let's keep it real. Everybody that's in front of a classroom that has the title of teacher is not a real teacher. Let me get that part real straight. You know what I mean? I fell into it by accident. I mean, and then now that I'm older, I can look back and see, oh, well, yeah, I was a teacher my whole life. Because I remember being 7, 8 years old, teaching, you know, the younger kids around me, you know, okay, we finna have class time. You know, other little girls was playing T and playing with dolls. I was playing classroom. Okay,
Gotcha.
so I see now that it was part of my DNA, right? But you know, at the time, you know, your parents like, oh, go ahead and go be a cop, be a doctor, be a lawyer. So I was following the plan, you know. But you know, when I thank goodness fell into South Central as a teacher, as a science teacher, I was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm supposed to be, and I just love it. And so a lot of times I would have kids ditching other teachers' classes to come to my class because I have a love of what I do, and I have a love of the kids that walk in my room. And I would tell them all the time, I see you like you're part of my family. So, and when I have finally had a son, I would tell my kids the same things. I would tell them, I was like, hey, you are just my son. That's all I see. So just like I would jump on my son with love and direction and guidance and everything you need for your future, for his future, I'm gonna do the same for you. And they knew that and they felt that. My students felt that, you know. There's a
Yeah.
story I gotta tell you real quick. So I was teaching in Indio, California. Indio is in the desert, like 115 degrees every single day. And I was driving 3 hours, commuting, hour and a half there, hour and a half back. And I remember now, but at that time I was teaching girls who were locked up. So I had like about maybe 20 girls in my class. And again, my kids know that I love them. They know. Well, how about this? So I had this new kid come in my class. She was about, I mean, real small, like about maybe 4'10" or real small, pregnant, 8, 9 months, visibly pregnant, right? And she walked into class and she had a chip on her shoulder. Now, at the time, I was dressed all nice in my little, you know, frilly dress, you know, oh, you know, hi, you know, hi, you know. So she thought she was gonna come in and rule my class and be, you know, I got this, right? And then so she walked up on me while I'm teaching.
Mm.
And and I was just not the day. That was not the day because she didn't know. And I was thinking to myself, oh, don't let the smooth taste fool you, baby. So I was like, today must be the day. And what happened was my kids, they know me and they love me, and they know I love them. All of them got up out of their seats, and they saw they saw something in my eyes. They oh shit, they
Mm-hmm.
all got up out their seats, and they all came around me and hugged me, and that brought me right back. Okay, because I was sure having a South Central moment right then, right? Oh, okay. So they saw the click and they were like, oh Lord, they got up and hugged me and stopped me, right? Because she was coming up on me and I was like, okay, we finna do this. I guess we finna do this. You know, the universal
Mm-hmm.
symbol of what's up. That's what I gave her. What's up? What we finna do? All right, let's go. And so I share that story because a lot of teachers don't have that, would not have had that kind of love from the students that know them to know, I believe it's nothing but the universe and God that those kids got up and hugged me and kind of just brought me back, because it was one of those moments where you doing what you're doing, you helping, you're trying to help, and then you got somebody that want to play your face, and then you like and so anyway, but
Yeah.
I share that because that's the kind of love I have for teaching. And my students, these are children, they saw it. They're like, no, something ain't right. She loves us. She takes care of us. This new girl, she just walked into the class yesterday. She don't know that Dr. Kelly loves us. So we need to do what we need to do, right? So anyway, that was, and
No.
I brought that same love of teaching into stock options trading.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I think my clients, I'm kind of fast forward a little bit, but
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
I think that's why my clients do so well in making money with stock options trading, is because they feel that love that I have. And that's a genuine feeling of, I want you to do better. I want you to make sure that your great grandkids are taken care of. And they get all that feeling and all that emotion.
That to me is about energy, right? So I'm a big believer in the energy that you put out will come back to you, right? So when you put that kind of energy out, it comes back to you. You know, even when you don't expect it, it comes back to you. So that just goes to show you put good energy out, eventually it will come back, right? My grandmother used to tell me, she said, you treat people well. That's the best investment you can make. It pays the best dividends. And, it's always,
Yes, yes,
so
yes. Good
yeah.
teaching. Grandma.
Oh yeah, shout out to grandma. And so the thing is, right, and that's the one thing we didn't mention earlier is the fact that you do now run a stock options trading academy, right? So I want to talk about your background and get into your stock
Yeah,
options trading academy. How did
yeah.
you make that transition, from Dr. Kelly, the educator,
Right.
to actually getting into stock options? What was that transition like?
So as we all know, the arena of teaching has changed. Kids nowadays are just a little bit different from the kids long ago. Okay, so the level of home training has taken a hit. So what that translates into for a teacher is you get some kids coming into your class like that girl, right? And instead of just being one, now you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them like her in your class. Okay. And then that's a threat to your life, technically. It really is, right? Because at any point, that kid could come in with a gun, a knife, whatever, or those kids, since now it's multiple levels of these kids don't give a whatever about themselves. I mean, I was teaching in juvenile hall. I was teaching kids who were on probation, right? So who knows what they've been through, right? And so when they want to come in and do what they do and have what they have, that impacts me. And I need to go home to my child, right? So I realized that I can't do this till I'm 65. As much as I love teaching, I can't do this till I'm 65. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, right? Either I'm gonna go to jail or it's gonna be something other worse than that. So I knew I had to do something. So I started looking into creating my own business. Okay, I started thinking outside the box and started looking, what can I do? And I started I started a program to teach me how to open up my own Amazon e-commerce business. Right, so I paid someone to teach me how to do that. Okay, and it's interesting because that story is interesting because I took my son. I'm always exposing my son to do new and different things. We've been to like 43 different countries. I've been and he's been to like 28 different countries. And so I'm always exposing him to things, right? So one day I took him out of school and we went to the Les Brown Get Motivated seminar. And what happened was, the way it's set up is different people will come and speak for 30 minutes, right? And then whatever speaker you're interested in, you can go attend one of their weekend sessions. So I was into Amazon, thinking about selling online. Well, no, I take that back. I was thinking about no, I write books and I do real estate. So those are the ones that piqued my interest. Okay. So my son, he's walking around enjoying everything. You know, he's 15 at the time. And then he comes up to me and says, Mom, I signed us up for the guy who sold a haunted cane on eBay for $5,000. And I'm looking at my child like, you did what? You signed us up for what? You know? And so, you know, I was like, and I thought about it. I had a teacher moment. And I said to myself, this kid is excited about something other than girls and rapping. So let me, you know, push him on and let me encourage this, right? So I went to we went to the weekend thing, and I got there like this. I was like this. Right. And then as I'm listening to the information, I was like,
Got it.
right. So I'm taking notes and I'm in, right? And I'm like, okay, all right, you know, and I just started soaking up the information. Now, what happened in that particular case was the guy who was teaching the class, his level of integrity was not on point, right? And now I'm educated and I'm a teacher, but I'm a really good student, so I take really good notes. So as I'm taking notes, I asked, you know, I raised my hand in the middle of the whole conference, right? And I asked him, I said, well, you know, yesterday you said da 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 da. Can you talk more about that, you know, or whatever? And he said in front of everybody, I didn't say that. And I thought, okay, maybe I got it wrong. I'm a human. I can make mistakes, right? Okay, cool. Fast forward to the conference a little bit later. I looked at my notes and I raised my hand, asked him another question, and he said, I didn't say that. Now, this time, a couple of the people around me, the lady in front of me, the lady across the aisle from me, they turned and looked at me and said, yeah, he did say that. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm not crazy. And it happened the third time. So that's when I knew. I was like, okay, I like the material being presented, but I'll be doggone if I'm paying him, right? So I came home, I did some research on the computer, and I was like, who can teach me how to do this? Because this is awesome, right? So I found a company that taught me how to do it. I paid them, and they taught me, and I ended up taking $800 as my first investment, and I ended up turning $800 into six figures in 14 months.
Nice. Okay? Amazing.
Right. So that's so that was me transitioning to, okay, I don't have to teach anymore, and now I have a way for me to go out of the classroom and make good money. So that's how I got out of the classroom, and the reason why I came out the classroom was because I'm like, I can't do this till I'm 65, and I was hungry to find something. You know how Les Brown says, "You're hungry." I was hungry.
You gotta be hungry. Yeah,
I gotta be hungry. Right.
Yeah,
right.
I'm a huge Les Brown fan, so I know
exactly. yes. So with that, I after I did that, then I had a business coach who I paid. I was like, hey, I need to figure out how to run my business. I'm a teacher by training, by profession, by heart. I don't know business. Hey, Jerry, you're a business coach. Can you teach me how much do I need to pay you so you can teach me how to do business? And so he did that. He coached me. And then he said, you know what? You should start teaching specifically Amazon e-commerce. You know, teaching other people how to do it. You know, you're learning business from me, but you should become, if you're a teacher, you're good. And I started teaching people and coaching people how to open up their own Amazon e-commerce businesses. So I started taking people to China, and I started showing them step by step what to do. And I would teach people in person how to do it, or I would teach them before we had to deal with Zoom, it was mostly in person. I would teach people how to do it, right? All right. And so that was great. And then in the middle of all that, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin came out, and I got heavily into that, learned how to trade Bitcoin cryptocurrency. And then when Bitcoin took a hit back in 2017 of December, I was like, okay, got to find something else, right? So I'm still doing my Amazon business. That's still going great. And now I'm like, okay, what else I need to do? And so I found Coach Jay with Discover Your Options. And man, after that, I ain't looked back since. It has been absolutely amazing, you know. So I took Coach J's program like in May of, I don't know, 2017, 20, I don't remember what year it was, maybe 2018, maybe 2018. And so I took his coaching. And after like 6 months, he told me, he said, I know you're a teacher. He said, you're good enough now to go teach other people. Let's go impact everybody else's life. He's all, because I can't teach everybody. I can't help everybody. But if we all go out and do the finger thing, everybody can get the help we need. And with his blessing, I opened up Stock Ops Training Academy, and it's been on and cracking ever since.
First off,
Yeah.
I just want to send Jay a shout out because like all of us
Jay,
have
yeah,
learned from Jay.
Jay was my options coach too. That's where I got my
Yeah.
options start too. I
That's
started
right.
a little bit before you. I actually was one of the people when he was putting it together. Me and him
Oh,
really sat down and started. You know, we planning and plotting out how it was going to look. So me
Yeah.
and
that's what's
Jay
up.
got real. He's our partner. Jay's
Hmm.
our partner
Oh,
for our options training course.
okay.
Because
Yeah.
I was gonna do my own options training course. I was like, why not both of us eat?
Yeah. So, but I just want to give him a shout out too because like I had traded options before I met Jay, but like Jay and Corey, there's like three people, Jay, Corey, and my guy Spoon. Between those three, that's when I really learned. Like I had traded an option, but I didn't really know what I would. I didn't know that I didn't know what I was doing. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Until like Jay and Corey set me down and said, no, this is what you got to do.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and even with that being said, something else I want to bring up too about that journey you just took us through, which is
Yeah.
awesome for one, because the first thing I want to say is you don't mind investing in yourself, and I think that's
Yep.
important to talk about because as you tell the story, that's what I take from that. What I took from your story, and I hope people listening will take this is you invest in yourself, and you don't
That's
mind reinventing yourself, and you don't mind investing in yourself, and both of those things are just so important. Um, as someone who's like a course junkie, I take courses on everything. And a lot of times people say, "Why are you doing it?" I said, "Listen, if I can pick up one thing, if I
right.
could pick up one thing." So, for instance, I give you an example. I took a course this year on like how to start a trucking business, and I have no
Okay.
intention of doing so after I took it. But
Right.
I picked up things from that I can apply to my real estate business because
Nice.
some of the same concepts. But my point is, when you invest in yourself, you
Mhm.
always gain new skills and new knowledge,
That's right.
and that's
Absolutely.
what's important. So I want to point that out. The
Yeah.
second thing is the Amazon business, right? I think
Yes.
that's an awesome story because I've shared this with Corey before. I had an Amazon store years ago, right? I did the
Okay.
Amazon where you send the stuff to them and then they do the fulfillment, right?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, but I didn't take it to the next level, and I could tell you took it to the next level because you talked about going to China. What I was doing
Right.
was I was actually going to different facilities and picking up things at one price and then reselling it on Amazon for a higher price.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Now,
Oh yeah.
He was
the
doing
problem with
Amazon arbitrage.
That's
arbitrage, but
right.
the problem with me doing that was for me it was taking up time, and I'm like a big proponent of time. If I would have known
Mm.
the skill that you just talked about, because I know just from what you said, like when you mentioned China, I said, "Oh, she really figured it out," because that's how you scale. That's how you scale. But
Right. That's
but anyway, I think that's an amazing story. So what
thank you.
now? Getting back into your story, what was it about
Yes.
stock options that like when you figured that out, where you said
Yeah.
this is it, like this is what I need to be doing? What was it about options?
I think it was. I think it was the power of what you could do with this. As you can see, it's wide open. You can see it's wide open already, right? You know, it's the power of what you can do sitting at home with your cell phone, right? The fact that you can make money literally with your cell phone. I mean, somebody asked me, I was doing a live on the beach out here in Puerto Rico. I was doing a live on the beach, right? And somebody asked me on the live, "Do you still coach Amazon?" I was like, "I try not to." You know, I try not to. You know, and the reason why is because the faster money, right? Why would I? At this point now, it's a math equation. I'm a math teacher, right? Why would I invest $5,000 in a product getting from China? I have to have them produce it. That's going to take 10 to 21 days for them to make it. And then they have to send it to me by boat or plane. That's going to be another 3 days to a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how it gets here. Then I got to bring it home, inspect it, make sure it looks good. And then I got to wrap it up, send it into Amazon. That's going to take another week for it to get into Amazon's warehouse. And then after that, I gotta wait for it to go live and then wait for people to buy it. So before I get anything back, and then I gotta wait 2 weeks for Amazon to pay me. If they all sold at the same time, if we know that don't happen, right? But if all that merchandise sold at the same time, I still got to wait 2 weeks for Amazon to send me my check after Amazon gets their cut of 28% to 30%, right? How long was my money tied up? Oh no, I can't do that no more. Oh no, when I can go into this market, throw $5,000 in this market, and turn around and make in a day, turn around and make 28% return on my money, 10% return on my money. I did a trade today on Blink that I got from Coach Jay. I'm looking at his page. He said Blink. I'm Blink.
Yo, listen, you and me both. Jay be handing out bags. Listen, I saw it on his page too. Like Jay just be handing out money. Here's Blink.
Last week he handed out a play that ran the actual stock ran up like 45% last week. I was like, damn.
Listen, Jay be throwing out so many plays. Some of them he don't even take advantage of himself. I saw him say something, and everybody was like, "Oh man," they was like, "Thank you." He's like, "I didn't do it."
Yeah, like, and the thing is, we all did some research on a certain sector.
Yeah.
And when we did that sector research, we came out with like 20 companies.
I already know what you're talking about. I already know
20 companies to trade. And so I'm trading one exclusively. You can see it in my name.
Yeah.
And so when we did the research, I was like, all right, this the one for me. You know what I mean? Like in the research that I did. And so, but we came out with like 20 different companies to trade. And literally, if you would have just traded those companies from the time we did that research to now, you'd probably be sitting on a bag high enough to touch the ceiling.
Exactly.
And,
so
yeah,
that's the beautiful thing about options is you have that kind of freedom to find something, and if you know what to do strategically, then that's when you can go ahead and just make money. I mean, I made money on Blink. Look at what he said, did the research on it real quick, bam, got in, and I was up, I don't know, 112% return in a day, in 2 hours. Man, come on, man. I can't do Amazon no more. That's slow money. Hey,
listen. So now you're the coach, and you have your own you have your own entity, and you're teaching others. How's that coming along? How is building out your infrastructure? How's that going?
It has been exciting, and you know what's interesting is I think it was the perfect storm. And what do I mean by that? I have been doing this for a minute now, right? My company is 2 years. About 2 years old, let's say that, right? And it took off during COVID. Why? Because people were like, oh my God, they were getting fired from their jobs. They were like stuck at home, and they were like, how do I make money stuck at home? Because my job just fired me, or I might get fired. And then they see Dr. Kelly walking on the beach talking about, hey y'all, I'm on the beach. What's going on? Y'all might want to learn stock options trading. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm here. Where y'all at? So folks started joining like this. But what's cool is they started making money. And that's the beautiful thing about it, So, and that's one thing that I started doing is I stopped posting receipts of my own, right? Because it's one thing for anybody to be like, oh, I made, right? But that ain't the thing. Can you teach somebody else to have impact on their life so that they can do they made. And that's what started happening. It's and I can't say all, of course, right? But a great majority of my clients started making money. And one thing that I do is I have them post receipts. That way can't nobody come along and say, well, dang, she ain't teaching nobody nothing. Well, why is it that 30 of them are posting receipts, right? It ain't just the same 2 or 3 people, right? This is 30 different people, 40 different people saying, no, I made money too. Oh, look, I made money too. Look, screenshot. Hey, I made money too. Look at the proof. So that's one thing I started making people do, because I don't want anybody to say that I'm taking folks' money. I'm not that type of person. I got to sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe in teaching people, and I believe in giving them more value than what they pay. And what's interesting, I'm gonna kind of segue into a question you said, what's been a challenge for me? Originally, a challenge for me was, and that's why I had to hire a business coach. Okay. A challenge for me when I started becoming a teacher of my own program was asserting my own value. So what do I mean by that? And the other one is teaching is the other challenge. And before I forget, I want to say it is dealing with people who don't know the value of investing in themselves. So those two things are challenges. So let me talk about the first.
Okay.
So when I first started, and I had my first or second business coach, because I believe in having business coaches, right? So I asked him, I was like, well, Jerry, I don't know how much to charge. And he's like, well, what do you think it's worth? I was like, I don't know, because I'm a teacher. I'm used to giving away for free. So coming from that mindset, he said, you can't give it away for free no more. You need to charge. I'm like, well, I don't know what to charge, right? And so he was like, well, think of something, do some math on it, whatever. And back then, listen to my tonage as I say this, my verbiage. I was like, when I would talk to people and they were like, well, how much is your class, right? Stock option trading. And I was like, well, it's $500. And, I teach this. And that's how I felt because I didn't have the confidence to put the bass in my voice like I got now that I can say years later, I can be like, my Wolf of Wall Street course is $5,250. I have that now, but I had to pay somebody to teach me how to do that, right? I had to invest in myself to be able to say that and know, right, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it's worth $5,250, right? Because I just made personally $100,000 in one day in the month of August, right? And then about 3 weeks ago, I posted receipts that I made $49,000 on Netflix. And that was just some of the receipts I made that day. I really made $70,000 that day, right? I didn't post all that. So here's my thinking is if I can teach you and I have a teaching background, I know how to teach, because everybody that knows something can't teach it, right? We got a lot of people, we've all been to colleges and not colleges, we sat in classes where the person in front of the classroom clearly knew what they were talking about, but did they have the skill and the ability to express that so that everybody understood it? We all know that is an issue.
Yep.
I have the ability to teach and I know what I'm talking about. And I can also, and I'm trying to give people the information. I want you to know how to do this. I want my clients to be better than me. I ain't got no ego in this game, right? I want to make sure that your great grandkid is taken care of. So I need to teach you this, right? And I know I got the skill to do it.
Enough money for everybody.
There's other people that teach stock options. Do they have a PhD and 2 master's degrees in education? Do they know how to get the information across in such a way? Are they available? Because I had somebody, and that's one of the challenges. I'm getting to that right now. So one of the other challenges is people saying, oh, well, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, yes, it is a lot of money, right? Well, I could go to YouTube. Good luck with that. Can you call YouTube and be like, hey, YouTube, I saw a video 6 months ago and I need you to help me with that. Can you call, can we get on the phone real quick? YouTube don't do that. I had a client call me who took my Wolf of Wall Street class back in May, finished in June or July. And he called me 2 weeks ago. We sat on the phone and chopped it up. Hey, how you doing, bro? Good to see you. What's going on? How the kids? How the family? You doing good in your trading? Oh, man, tell me about it. What's going on? He told me he ain't taking no losses at all. He's using all my strategies, all the stuff I taught him. I teach 8 different strategies. So you pick one that works best for you. I created these things. Now, one of them, the first one, I learned from Coach Jay, and I tweaked it. So I got to give credit where credit is due. I started tweaking it and making it better, putting my math and science skills on it so I can make it better and more streamlined, so that I can teach it the way I need to teach so people get it, right? But I started teaching all this stuff because I'm a math science teacher, right? So I see patterns and I see things, okay, now I try it out. All of my strategies, I put my own money into it. So I am not teaching anything to anybody that I haven't put my own money in and clearly made sure it worked, right? Okay, that's being a scientific person, right? You do things for at least 3 times, make sure it works, probably more, but at least 3 times you try it out. You have a hypothesis and then you test it out. And then once it works and you make sure it works several times, right? And after that, okay, cool. You got a theorem now. You got something that works, right? So anyway, I say all that to say the challenge is dealing with people who don't understand the value of investing in self. And they think, oh my God, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, okay, well, let me ask you a question. If I, as an educator, certified educator, 2 master PhD. If I can teach you how to make $100,000 in one day, how much do you think that's worth? How much would you pay for that? What's it worth to you? Maybe it's not worth anything to you. Maybe you want to go ahead and keep working on your job till you're 65, and then you got to struggle and figure out what's retirement like. I mean,
yeah, it's understanding your value, value.
Right.
Yeah.
So both
Yeah.
of those things, yeah.
Yeah, that's listen. It's so many gems in what you just said. I listen. You're an amazing. Like I said, you're amazing. So it's a lot of gems in what you said. Let me ask you this question though. You kind of mentioned it a little bit in there, but being as someone with that math background and education, how much does that help you? Not necessarily in your business, but as a trader. How much does your background play into you as a trader?
It plays a huge part because as I've been trading over this time period, that background has been the thing that's helped me develop these strategies that have really started making me the kind of money I make. Okay, so I use my math and science background and that skill set. I sprinkle that on top of these charts, the analysis. I sprinkle all that on there, and then I'm like, okay, now I know how to do these calculations, so I know when to get out, when to get in. I mean, I'm doing actual work on it, right? So yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great thing to have that kind of skill set.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So now you're like living a dream. You're living on a beach in Puerto Rico. You got your academy built up and everything. What is the future for your business? Where do you see yourself doing in the future?
You know what? I have contacted a friend of mine, another doctor, and it's funny because he's Dr. Lynn Cooper, and I called him one day back in April, and I said, "Hey, I got an idea for the Stock Options Trading Academy, and I know you do this already. What if we, kind of merged, ideas on how to do it?" And it was funny because he did this. He was like, I don't know. Oh, wow, shit, that's going to be amazing. He did exactly that. and then so I can't spill all the beans right now, but he actually, no cap, now he's a millionaire. He with what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He actually stopped what he's doing to join with me to do the idea with Stock Options Trading Academy.
Wow.
That's what I said. Wow. And it's funny because we were talking about it since April, right? And I remember in June we were talking. And by the way, he's another one of my business coaches. I paid him to teach me his level of business because he's great in his business, right? And so I paid. So that's why we have the conversation. I was like, what do you think if I turned Stock Options Trading Academy into like your business model? And he was like, oh my God, we gonna make a whole bunch of money. so we're gonna be doing our soft launch on that in probably March or April.
Okay.
So I mean, with his background, with what he does, with the fact that I'm doing what I'm doing and it's working. I mean, again, people are making money. Oh, he said we're gonna make a whole bunch of money, and we're gonna really just do amazingly well with this, helping people and making money on top. And we ain't talking about it. We're talking millions of dollars. From his perspective, with what he's good at, he said, "Oh, we're gonna make a whole bunch of millions and millions of dollars." And I'm like,
that's amazing. Listen, last question I have for you, and Corey, if you have anything, let me know. But is there a book or something that you can give our audience that has influenced you along your journey?
Yes, I would say that this is one of the older books that I read was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay.
So recently I went and bought a duplex in Alabama. My son's 21. My son graduated from high school at 12. I figured out a loophole in the system. I'm gonna call it a loophole. It is what it is, right? And I figured out how to get my son to graduate by teaching him certain things that he needed to know. And then the loophole is you go take a specific test. And if you pass that specific test, you have a high school diploma, right?
Okay.
So I taught him what I needed to. I taught him. So in the eighth grade, I was teaching him geometry. because that's what he needed to know on the test. Okay, so I was teaching him specific things on my own Saturday school for my son, right? So I taught him the things that he needed to know. Went in, took the test, passed the test, finished with high school. He started college at 12, finished college at 15 with 3 degrees, opened up his own business, and now he went back to university, finished there with his 4th degree, and now my son has his own real estate company. He's 21 now.
Nice.
I share that because, thank you. I share that because I told him, he actually called me one day and said, Mom, all this money you making, Uncle Sam is just sitting here like, yes, please keep going, Dr. Kelly. We need to come up with some tax breaks. Now, I used to do real estate a long time ago, okay? And when the crash happened, I lost all my properties. But real estate is always the end game, right? Rich dad, poor dad. Rich real estate,
Always.
you know.
Yep.
What is it? 4 greenhouses equal 1 red hotel, right?
There you go.
So my son was like, hey, Mom, we need to get back into it. And all the money you're making, we need to, do that. So I told him, I said, hey, look, I need you to find me, create a list of properties and shoot them at me. And I'm going to go ahead and figure out which ones to buy. So we found one in Auburn, Alabama. So I'm going to give y'all some free game. Everybody who's listening, here comes some free game. Buy a property in a college town, a college university town. Buy you real estate there. Because that way it's never going to go empty. You're always going to have people renting that out. So that's something that, next level. Now, that's something I didn't know when I had my empire before the market crashed. I know it now. So I flew to Alabama. My son flew from California. We met each other, drove to Auburn, and I paid cash money for that duplex. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that is the Rich Dad Poor Dad is the one, the off top. I would say after that, the concepts that you learn in Think and Grow Rich, of course, right? And then in terms of trading, there's a book, I can't think of the author, but it's the idea of the book. It's on YouTube for free, and it's The Psychology of Trading. So if anybody wants to know what it is, I can.
Yeah. Antonio mentioned that when he was on here as well. The Psychology of Trading.
Yeah.
So the fact that both of you mentioned that should mean that whoever's listening or watching this should pick that up, right? Because both of you guys, absolutely.
Exactly.
Listen, your story is awesome. It's inspiring. It's amazing. Corey, do you have anything before we get out of here, good brother?
Can I borrow $1, Dr. Kelly? Yeah, I need to borrow George Washington. Like you just over here spitting. Like I need $1 American dollar. Just one. I don't need a bunch. Just one.
All right. I got you.
Nah, I'm good. But thank you for thinking about me.
Absolutely.
So listen here, Dr. I just want to say thank you first off for your time because you're so gracious with your time. I mean, like I tell everybody, someone that's laying on the beach, man, to get their time, that's important, right? I feel special. You know what I'm saying? You come off the beach just to come talk to us, right?
Yes, man.
She gave us love. She showed us that love. She showed us that California love.
So I just want to say thank you and congratulations on your journey and everything that you're doing. And also just want to salute you for helping others because like you mentioned in here, it's not enough to show what you have. Like we all can show what we have, but it's not about that. But when you show that you can help someone else feed their family, to me, and I say that often, that's revolutionary. To me, that's more revolutionary than marching and all that. When you can actually take someone that looks like you and show them how to feed their family, that's powerful. So I just want to say congratulations and thank you for all you do for our people.
Salute.
Thank you. I appreciate that. One of my clients told me, he said, "You are birthing millionaires," and that's deep because that's my last thing I'm gonna say is it's deep because years ago, I had to identify who and what I was. And I know I'm a teacher, but one day it hit me. I am a civilization builder. I'm a nation builder. That's what I am, right? And so when he said that, now he never knew me. He never knew I had ever said that and I identified myself as a nation builder. But he came along and saw what I did in his life. I'm doing Junior Soda Academy, so I'm teaching his 11-year-old son how to trade options, and he's like, "Oh no, you're birthing millionaires," and that goes right along with who I am as a nation builder. Hey, we got to build this nation, okay?
Yes,
we are an amazing people. We've been held down and held back and beat down, But baby, we are an amazing people, and I'm doing what I can to put us back in the righteous position that we need to be in. Y'all see this behind me? This ain't no just decoration. This is what I believe and what I feel. So I'm trying to get us back to where we supposed to be. And you all know what I mean. I'm not saying I'm just saying, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I got
sure.
you. Powerful. Listen, man, I'm with you. So I just want to say thank you again for your time. We're going to put the links to everything you got within the description so everybody can take a look at see what you got going on. And continue to do what you do. Continue to do what you do. So for our folks out there, check out what Dr. Kelli has going on. I hope you've been inspired by her story and everything that she shared with us. And make sure that you share this out, to your family, friends. Help us get out the word of people that are doing positive things. A lot of times when we're on social media, we like to, share the negativity. So we want to add some positivity to it. I'm not telling you not to share the negativity. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But have some balance, right? Share some information to brothers and sisters that are doing amazing work. And Dr. Kelli is definitely that. So I want to say thank you again. And to our audience, remember, stay in tune with us. Stay in tune with everything we got going on. Check out all the links within the description. And as we always say, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep. Game elevates, and we shall see y'all in the next episode. Peace.
All right. Blessings.